My mom couldn't have kids. She told me all she wanted was to have 8 kids and live on a farm and raise them, but she couldn't have any. So she adopted me and my brother Matt and lived in Grand Prairie, Texas, and taught junior high for 28 years. They always told me I was adopted, so that was never a shock. Like, I get it. She couldn't make babies, so she went somewhere to get babies. We were from a baby store. Babies R Us would be a good name for it, but it was taken. It made sense to me. I mean, we didn't make our groceries, we got them from a store. We didn't make our sofa, it's from a store. Why not go to a store to get me and my brother Matt? I was fine with it until I was about 10 years old, and we visited these neighbors down the street, and this woman was breastfeeding, and that means this baby was up on this lady's boob. We never did that at our house. Like maybe we'd suck on a Capri Sun or something, but this was weird. And I had questions, and she explained, well, this is my son, and he came out of me, and I'm feeding him. Son? That's double weird. I had more questions until she uncomfortably said, maybe you should ask your mom. And that's when I found out that not everyone is adopted. I was fine with it until I realized it was basically just me and my brother. That's fucked up. Being adopted is not the same for everyone. It bugs me. I wonder, who am I from? Have I ever accidentally met her? Is it a neighbor, a teacher? Does she know but I don't? Will I meet a woman one day and just feel an intense bond? Will I look at her and just know? I've never looked into eyes that were my eyes. I've never touched the hand of someone whose body flows with the same blood as mine. I have no idea whose cute nose I have. I've always felt alien, apart from my primal family unit. Muppets in Space is not a great movie, but when Gonzo's people come down from his planet to get him, I cried and cried. And I just saw that movie last summer. Because I'm adopted, I've always felt this hole inside I've tried to fill. I have a great family, I'm just not like them, or my brother. Like my brother, for example, loves to hunt and fish, just like my dad. They buy camouflage and guns and spend long weekends in deer blinds, drinking beer and shooting Bambi together. I don't like the outdoors, or bugs, or I don't even like air. I like air conditioning. My mom is the nicest person you'll ever meet. If you're sick, she'll make a pot of soup and bring it right to your house. I never heard my mom once say a cuss word. And for a short time, I performed as a character named Cunty Cunterson. So we're different. And my brother, by the way, never asks about being adopted. Couldn't care less, it never comes up. But for me, because I'm adopted, I've always felt this hole inside, this gap, something missing that I've spent my whole life trying to fill. The first thing available to me to fill the hole was food. I'm from Texas, so most of our meat is fried, and our vegetables come from a can. We'd go visit my good grandma and grandpa in Wichita Falls, and they had a big house with a wraparound porch, and she'd cook fresh green beans that she picked from her garden, peach cobbler from scratch. We'd wake up to oven-warmed donuts and her fried bacon. Then there was my other grandmother, Granny. She lived about a mile away from us in a shitty apartment complex that didn't allow children. We'd visit her and we'd have to in heavy cream, have me wash it down with Coca-Cola, and then tell me I'm fat. What an a-hole. She was a real weight-obsessed bitch. The technical term I now know is anorexic chain smoker, but we just said bitch, and we weren't far. When I was 8, Granny suggested I make a girdle out of an old tire. Some people just tell kids to color. She sat in our kitchen, depressed and uninvited as usual, and she was chain smoking from a cigarette holder, and she looked at me and she said, "When I was your age, I got myself in shape for boys. I made a girdle out of an inner tube. Then all the boys liked me. That's what you should do." I'm 8! This is the woman who's counseling me about my looks? That it didn't bother me, that I just went right back to practicing my baton twirling because I was pretty good. But it did bother me. I wanted all the boys to like me. I mean, that's how you know you're pretty and worthwhile, by how many guys like you. I didn't make a tire girdle or a duct tape corset or whatever hillbilly Spanx apparatus. But when I was 10 years old, to make myself acceptable to mankind, I went on a crash diet. Hot on the heels of the success of 9 to 5, it was called the Dolly Parton diet. It's also known as the cabbage soup diet because you get to eat all the cabbage soup you want. Otherwise, day 1 you eat fruit, and day 2 you eat vegetables, and day 3 you eat fruit and vegetables, and day 4 is bananas and milk, and day 5 is beef and tomatoes, and I forget day 6 and 7. I blocked them out from self-hate. But it worked. I lost 10 pounds. 1 for each precious year of life. Now Granny can love me. Now I can get attention from guys. Like weird attention from guys. Like from strangers at the public pool and some of my older brother's friends. I didn't like my smaller body. It scared me. But I wanted attention and I needed love. I mean, food didn't totally fill this hole. So I got this better idea. I'm gonna fill this hole with guys.